So I was kind of bored yesterday. I guess I was just tired. Still am. And instead of going to sleep, because at around midnight I felt like, yeah, I can go to sleep. But I downloaded the movie about Dr. Panacea something. I was expecting it to be with Johnny Depp because I like him, but it's not. So I was waiting for him to appear, but he didn't. But before I even started the movie, I was just scrolling on YouTube. And yeah, that was kind of ironic because I saw like 3 videos of Eckhart Tolle, uh, who was pretty much saying the same things as I was saying, and then I was like, "Am I starting to sound like Eckhart Tolle?" No, I guess we're just talking about the same things. Apparently, this is what people are looking for. Yeah, and around dinner time, there was a couple of Canadians, a couple from Canada. I, I know I wanted to sit here, but it was occupied by a group of Koreans, and it was rainy, so I had to sit under the roofing there. Maybe it's also the beef. I ordered rendang sapi. It's so nice. But it's 200 grams of meat. And yeah, these are not big cows, but I don't know. I rarely eat beef. It's so heavy. So maybe, you know, and I'm also digesting something. Yeah, it is something I mentioned before, but I haven't really spoken into that much, and that's yeah, it's what I call grit worker. Uh, I don't actually know what the label or the term means, but let's just say there's only a handful of us, and let's assume that I'm one of them, or you are one of them. Light workers, star seeds, grid workers, they came to this planet, to this earthly realm, for the sole purpose of restoring, and that's the story, the yeah, you could say the earth, or you could say the collective, or all of it together to restore it back to its original, to its origins. Uh, if you, yeah, if you, seen from the perspective of that we were seated, human being, human as a being, other than other humanoids living on other planets. Um, we were seated here for a reason. We were created for a reason. And I like the idea of that we are an experiment. uh, just imagine uh, someone having like a library or a kitchen. Well, let's say library. No, laboratory. Sorry, I'm not awake yet. It's gonna be a funny movie. Uh, so some dude, he had a laboratory, and yeah, he created this virtual reality, or maybe it's not even virtual. Maybe it's really is. This is really, we are really living under a dome. So there's like flat Earth, like this, flat Earth, and then there's a dome, and there's some guy looking at the dome, like, how are they doing? And then some other, when he was away, to have fun with his wife. It was that time of the year. And then, yeah, there was like a, let's say, a jealous neighbor. Uh, and he wanted to see, oh, can I, can I take advantage of uh, this experiment that he's doing? And yeah, that's what they call the Anunnaki. So they came here and started messing with the genetics. This is already a weird story. And the moment uh, the lab guy came back and he saw what the jealous neighbor had done, it was like, ah, man, they were doing so well, you know, they were making progress on their own, and now you had to mess it up, advance their evolution by days, uh, and in universal time measurements. Yeah, and in our measurements, human time measurements, we were like advanced millions of years. And yeah, he messed it up because we were not supposed to be this far uh, ahead in our evolutionary stage. So for days on end, he tried to figure out how to fix this, and then he was like, ah, but I also have another experiment with beings from all over the place who I can just add to this dome and see, because they have like a different vibration. Let's see if their different vibration will fix the balance, because we were totally off balance. I'm pretty sure no one has ever told this story like this before. Some of you might have heard of Dolores Cannon and her 3 waves of volunteers, and if you haven't, then yeah, just Google it, or look it up in YouTube. There's many videos, and you can even download her books. The 3 waves of volunteers, the idea behind it is that this laboratory guy, he sent in first he sent in the troopers, and that would be me. It's what I call the indigo, the first wave. They had no clue, because they had to agree with this veil of forgetfulness idea. So yeah, they were dropped into this reality, and yeah, let's see what happens. And the way I see it, many of my generation, they didn't make it. They either got lost in drugs, or just really couldn't find their footing, so they died already. And then the second wave was sent. And the second wave, which I call the crystalline children, let's say their vibration was like 10% higher. But the moment they arrived here, they had such a hard time. And you might recognize them. Let's say they're in their 30s, or around maybe almost 40 already. But because they were like vibrating 10% higher than everybody else, they felt like the odd ones out. So what did I do? They dimmed their light. And yeah, as a indigo, I always felt like, well, not always, but for a long time I felt like, okay, so this is probably part of my job here, to activate these crystalline children, reactivate, to tell them, listen, your vibration is a lot higher than everybody else, but it's a gift. It's a curse and a gift. And when you learn to deal with the curse, then you can use your gifts. And they're talented in many ways. But yeah, normal life made them normal. So, same thing with them. I saw like many just, they just forgot. They were just, I like my job. I like my boyfriend. I like the money I'm making, so I'm not gonna change. But yeah, it, in the back of the mind is always nagging, like, shouldn't you doing be any more? Shouldn't you be a little bit more special? You got a job to do, dude. And And then the third wave, which I call the rainbow children, they were like, um, the way I see it is that they didn't have to agree with the veil of forgetfulness. So they came here with full memory intact. So many of them, they remember past lives, or they remember how it's like being non-corporeal, or they remember what it's like to, uh, yeah, be different than anybody else. And so then psychology and psychiatrists, they said, yeah, 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 they are off the spectrum. It started with all sorts of weird labels, Asperger, ADHD, OCD, blah blah blah, and then yeah, they put it all back together, and it's like autism spectrum. They really don't know how to deal with them because these kids, they're not normal, and they don't want to be. They cannot be. So yeah, normally we adjust to the system, and these kids, they kind of force the system to adjust to them, or they're just gonna do it so differently that yeah, once they start to run their own business or do their own thing, then yeah. So grid workers, uh, they spread all over the world, the globe, or if you're a flat earther, they spread all around, and they became like nodes, nodal points, and together they form a solid grid. And so now that I'm here in Bali, and I again feel like the odd one out, because many expats who live here and running their business, tantra, yoga, and all these things, well, if I look beyond my judgment, because there is some judgment, then yeah, they're just doing their job, and they're also helping to restore the grid. At least they're, yeah, they're probably doing something right. But I sometimes feel like, am I the only one? Am I special? Because in general, the people I meet here are tourists. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is why intuitively I called this collection of videos while shift happens. because I feel um, we only just started. Huh? We tipped the scale, but yeah, now you know I should actually sit back, relax, and I'm sitting very relaxed to be honest. Um, Sit back and relax, and let the awakened ones do their thing. So maybe Eckhart Tolle and me and so many others, we're out of a job soon. I don't think so. No, seriously. I mean, yeah, this video especially, it's I'm pretty sure that well, no, I'm not so sure to be honest. I am bringing something different to the table, a a kind of unique or unique kind of perspective. Yeah, yeah. So I noticed I'm drifting a bit at the moment between non identification and being a YouTuber. Yeah, you noticed, right? There were some thoughts flowing by or floating somewhere, and I was looking for a constructive thought, but it's like soap bubbles. Shouldn't you try to get them like? So I guess this is it. It's a hot day today, so I might take a day off and do something nice. Yeah, so if you're here for the first time and you've watched until now, then I'm so curious. Uh, what is your first impression? Please let me know in the comments. Please. I'm curious. I'm really curious. I mean, if you look at Eckhart Tolle, yeah, he's like talking, 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 talking. You know, he starts here and he has a point to make, and the title of his video is pretty clear. Like, this is the point I'm making. And then there's this dude, barely awake, drinking coffee, smoking a cigarette, talking with his morning voice. telling a weird story, and you're still here. Yeah, so stick around, watch some of the more interesting videos. Definitely should watch more of the interesting videos because this might not be so interesting, which is interesting on its own, right? All right, I'm in a good place, people. Tipping the scale, I really feel like something has changed. I'm not sure what yet. Okay, see you somewhere else.